Good morning. Welcome. Thank you all for joining the Dallas and Collin County Light the Night Citywide Community Kickoff. I certainly hope everyone is safe and well and enjoying their summer. My name is Kurt Kaminsky. I'm the 2021 Dallas Corporate Walk Chair. I'm also the president of McKesson's pharmaceutical segment, and we are just incredibly proud to be kicking off today. I'm also incredibly fortunate to be joined by the 2021 Collin County Corporate Walk Chairs, Gershaman Bawaya and John Daniels. John and I are going to do our best to be your hosts for today's program on the Zoom platform. I know we all have gotten pretty used to this platform, fortunately or unfortunately, but I thought I would start with just some logistical components. First off, everyone's microphones and cameras have been turned off, but we are going to try to make this as interactive as possible. So we'll be using the polls, the chat functions. And if you have any questions, feel free to chat by sending a note to the LTN staff versus the entire group. And I know they will get back to you as quickly as possible. I'll also point out to you that we are recording this. So to those of you who missed parts of it, you can certainly access it later when convenient for you. So thank you for that. Let me start by just thanking you for your time today. We know there is a lot going on, end of summer, back to school, everything going on in our communities, and that you all are super busy. My commitment to you is we're going to make this efficient, but also make sure it is worth your while. We have an incredible group. We're so fortunate that so many of you joined us today. We'd love to see who's on with us today, so please use your Zoom chat function, share your name, your team name, your company. My bet is that everybody on this call or this Zoom platform will recognize somebody from their personal or professional life and hopefully make a connection there. So please take a minute to enter into the Zoom. Who all is on the call with us today. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. It is hard to believe that we are now counting the days for both the kickoff for Dallas and Collin County Light the Night walks. I know, like many of you, there is certainly an extra buildup as we get closer to this year's Light the Night walk. For many of us, I view it as sort of a coming back into our communities. Obviously, last year we were virtual, and I know so many of us are just out and excited to be out and present with our communities for such an incredible cause, and to really get excited about coming together as a community again with, to celebrate our patients, our caregivers, and everything that Light the Night is about. I thought I would spend a minute just to talk about the history. Light the Night began with one family's grief back in the 1940s when they actually lost their 16-year-old son to leukemia. You can imagine at the time, and it's hard to fathom, but at that point, leukemia was an incurable disease. And for 70 years, the people of LLS have committed tirelessly to fund the latest research and to deliver the essential care directly to patients who need it most, the people who are suffering from blood cancer, and certainly their families and caregivers. And what an incredible run it's been for LLS. I can tell you, as the leader of US Oncology, which is one of the companies McKesson's owns, we see it every day across our 500 sites of care where LLS is stepping up, not only to help and assist in the research of cancer therapeutics, but also to support patients in a variety of ways. I thought I would share just a couple of numbers that certainly stick with me as I think about the challenge ahead of us all in our communities. The first one is that there are 1.4 million people in the US living with a blood cancer right now, which is sort of an unfathomable number. And to put a finer point on that, every 9 minutes, somebody is losing their own battle to blood cancer. That's why we're all here. It's why we need your support in both the development of cancer research, but also the care of patients. I'd also point out that even though only 10% of all cancers are blood cancers, 40% of all drugs were first approved by the FDA for blood cancer. So said differently, every time that we work to develop a new drug for blood cancers, most of the time, we're also able to leverage that science and that technology to help other patients with different forms of cancers, which is just so important. So the impact goes way above and beyond just what LLS does. The last number I would share with you, and I think it says a lot about the work that LLS does, 14 of the 17 drugs approved by the FDA in blood cancers, LLS has played a significant role in the cancer and clinical research of those drugs. So a huge problem to solve. Clearly, LLS is making an impact. As I said, I see it every day, and I'm just proud to be part of this organization. LLS has also played a huge role during the pandemic. We all know that across the country, people have been impacted in a variety of ways during the lockdowns, during some of the challenges. People have lost their jobs, and LLS didn't stand still. They have launched and committed $4.8 million in direct financial relief to over 20,000 blood cancer patients and their families. And so when people needed it most, when they needed help in their own battle against blood cancers, LLS stepped up during the pandemic and just did an amazing job. And I would have expected nothing less. At LLS, our mission statement begins with the word cure. It's how we think about it. Cure leukemia, cure lymphoma, cure Hodgkin's disease, and myeloma. And to improve the quality of life of patients and their families. And as I've said, there's a variety of ways that we do it, both in the development of drugs, but also in the way we take care of patients. But none of this work is going to get done without the support of people like you on this call who donate their time, their efforts, their energy, their financial means to just an incredible cause. All of us on this call know somebody who's been affected by cancer of some shape or form, certainly blood cancers. Whether you battled it yourself, you may know somebody who's battling it, or you've lost someone to the disease. We feel incredibly fortunate to have someone here with us today who has heard the words, "You have cancer," and she is here to tell us her own story. So please join me in welcoming Chelsea Damasca, who's going to share a bit about her own story around blood cancer. So Chelsea, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everybody. I remember like this was just yesterday. In the summer of 1999, I watched the long, exciting, nail-biting FIFA Women's World Cup, where USA beat China in the 5-4 in an intense shootout. The feeling I had watching this game was the exact same feeling I had when my team went to win the nation's biggest girls soccer tournament, the Irvine Cup. So to celebrate an amazing season that we had, we decided to have a team pool party. But the day before the pool party, I struck a fever. So my mom took me to the doctors for a checkup. The fever broke, but my doctor noticed that my lips looked pale. So blood tests were done, and we were told we'd receive a call if anything abnormal came up. While we were at the pool party, my parents received a call that we needed to go to the nearest hospital to have more tests done. 2 days later, after ample tests were done, my family anxiously waited for answers in Lakeview Medical Hospital in Anaheim, California. Of all the days, it was my mom's birthday, a day meant for celebrating with family and friends. On June 10th, 2000, at the age of 10 years old, we received news that changed my life as well as my family's. I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, also known as ALL. I went through aggressive chemotherapy and radiation, had multiple blood transfusions, spinal taps, bone marrow tests. My body fought me, but I fought back harder. I joined the Leukemia Lymphoma Society through Light the Night in California. My family and I walked not only for me, but also in support of our family friend that was newly diagnosed with AML. On March 16th of this year, Eric Bosshart lost his fight after a 10-year battle with AML. Today, I walk not only as a survivor, but in his memory. From the start of my fight, not only were my family and friends always by my side to support me, but there were also 3 other people that were the true heroes of my story. My pediatric oncology nurses, Mary, Marta, and Edna. Their sincere compassion, love, care, and total devotion to me and all the patients in the clinic was truly inspiring. They're the reason I became a nurse and in pursuing a degree and a career in pediatric oncology. They are my heroes and always will be. On June 10th, 2005, exactly 5 years after being diagnosed with ALL, I hit all the milestones of remission. Having been diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia at 10 years old was the fight of my life. I'm very happy and proud to share a very significant part of my life that shaped me into the person I am today. We all have that one fight that has a huge impact of our life, and this was mine. Thank you.
A true thanks to you, Chelsea, for sharing your story with us and for showing, how personal every cancer diagnosis is. It's truly inspiring to me personally, and I'm sure many folks on the call today. So that said, hello everyone. Again, I'm John Daniels, the 2021 Collin County Corporate Walk Co-Chair. So you've heard a quick snapshot on LLS and why we have to continue to work hard every day to find a cure. Let's talk about why we're all here today. And I think everybody knows, but if you clicked on your Zoom link this morning, and just because that's what we all do every day, we're here for LLS and for Light the Night. But before we dive into some of the details of this very important campaign, we want to get to know you a bit better. We'd love to hear how many years you've participated in Light the Night. A poll will appear on your screen momentarily. Actually, I think it's already there. And please click the number of years you've been involved with Light the Night, or if you're new with us today. And I need to click on mine. All right, well, as I'm looking at the screen, I think everybody can see this. We have over 52% that are newcomers. We have 26% who are 1 to 5 years, which is yours truly. We have 4% from 5 to 7 years, 4% 7 to 10 years, which is, simply awesome. And then a few folks that have been involved with us for 10 plus years, which is incredible. And I aspire to be at that point in about 9 years. All right. So Light the Night, as we move on, is unique because it takes place after dark and features one-of-a-kind illuminated lanterns in white, gold, and red. Participants choose the lantern that best matches their reason for lighting the night and collectively lift their lanterns into the sky during Light the Night's opening ceremony, signaling hope, remembrance, and support as all of us fight blood cancers. Now, gold lanterns are carried by those who light the night in memory of someone they've lost to cancer, which I'll be lighting a gold one. White lanterns are carried by those who are battling or have survived cancer. And then red lanterns are carried for those who support the cause and simply want to see an end to this terrible cancer once and for all. Dallas and Collin County's Light the Night will take place on November 6th in Dallas at 5:30 p.m. And then on November 7th, and just a plug for the Collin County, please join us on November 7th at 4:30 p.m. This year, the goal in Dallas is $950,000. And while I have not gotten approval from anybody on this call, I think 950 is a little bit of a weird number. I think 1 million is a much, much better goal for the Dallas team. Kirk, wink, wink, nod, nod. And then the goal for the Collin County group is 350,000. And you have my promise, my personal promise, that I'll be putting skin in the game. As noted, in Collin County, Texas Instruments is stepping up to get things rolling by committing to a $10,000 sponsorship for Light the Night. And together, a team of participants, many of those who are on the call today, we hope to raise more than $100,000 again this year. In Dallas, the 2021 Dallas Corporate Walk Chair, Kirk Kaminsky, who you just heard from, his team, Team McKesson, is also stepping up and has committed to a $100,000 sponsorship and set a $300,000. Wow, Kirk, that's amazing. $300,000 company goal. But we truly need everyone's support to reach and or exceed our goal. These are truly big, big numbers, but it's going to take big numbers to fund the research and care that will someday bring an end to this cancer. Let's take a moment to recognize our current 2021 Dallas, sorry for the noise in the background, and Collin County Light the Night sponsors. These companies are an instrumental piece of hitting and exceeding our 2021 fundraising goal. It's not too late to have your company become one of the Light the Night sponsors. Our sponsors will have engaging and interactive activations at Light the Night event. So be sure to visit them and say thank you for their incredible support. Now, the most successful fundraisers for the Light the Night are those who are part of a team. Teams come in all types and sizes, from corporations to families to groups of friends, neighbors, or classmates. But the one thing they have in common is they have a lot of fun. They truly put the fun in fundraising. A little corny comment, but truly one that inspires many of us and typically raises more money than anybody else. Teams have been always the backbone of Light the Night here in North Dallas. And today, I want you to meet one of our most passionate and motivating team captains. And I can personally vouch for that. I have not had a chance to meet Jason face to face, but I've met him a number of times. And he's going to tell you a little bit about starting and building a powerhouse team. So without any further ado and all the construction noise in the background, please welcome Jason Ware of Jason's Journey.
Good morning. I'm so glad that you all have chosen to be with us here virtually today. It was a little over 2 years ago on July 10th, 2019, that I heard the words, "You have cancer." And that day, when I learned that I had stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, it truly changed my life. You know, during my first round of chemotherapy, one of my good friends encouraged me to get involved with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And while exploring the LLS website, I remembered that the organization held a huge walk each year. I quickly looked to see when the walk was taking place in Dallas, and next thing you know, from my hospital bed at Medical City, Dallas, I formed a team called Jason's Journey for the Light the Night walk here in my own backyard. And while undergoing chemo treatments every 21 days for 24 hours a day, 5 days in a row, I began to build Team Jason's Journey and raise money for LLS. Now, by September of 2019, I had raised $8,000. And then by November, I had raised $13,386 in total. The more I got involved with Light the Night and the more that I learned about LLS, I discovered that LLS helped fund the research that led to Rituxan, which was part of my chemo regimen. And for this, I will forever be grateful to LLS and will always support the mission. So how do you build a powerhouse team for Light the Night? It's quite simple. First, you ask everyone you know to join your team. Next, you focus on building your team with, say, a minimum of 10 people. And then you challenge your team to raise money and get creative with your fundraising efforts. And keep in mind, $400 is the average amount that a walker raises. Now, I want to take a few minutes and talk further about getting creative with your fundraising efforts. At the beginning of 2020, Team Jason's Journey had big plans to raise even more money for LLS than we did in 2019. Well, then we were hit with a global pandemic. So how do you raise money in the middle of a pandemic? The answer is quite simple. You put your thinking hat on, you get creative, and you dream even bigger. I knew we had to think outside of the box with our fundraising efforts. First, we sold baseball caps and made about $500. Then we had our first virtual bingo night and raised over $4,000. But I wasn't stopping there. I decided to have a duck race. Well, a socially distanced, modified duck race called the Great Duck Pluck. A lot like a carnival game where you pick a duck and win a prize. And for nearly 4 weeks, we held duck adoptions and raised over $4,000. And because I hadn't met my fundraising goal yet, we decided to hold another virtual bingo night, the Halloween edition. And in less than 4 weeks, we raised another $4,000. And for the 2020 walk season, Team Jason's Journey ended up raising $15,900. For 2021, I wanted to hit the ground running because the fire and passion inside me to see an end to blood cancers is greater than ever. So I've already started my fundraising efforts and encourage all of you to get started right away. I'm asking friends, family, coworkers, and people within my community to join me to help bring light to the darkness of cancer. And because we're still in the middle of this pandemic, we need to be creative now more than ever in our fundraising efforts. So I just celebrated 18 months of being cancer-free. And you might ask yourself, what does one do after they crush stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? Well, for me, I'm continuing to survive and thrive with LLS. I love sharing the mission of LLS and what the organization has done for me personally. And I've also had the opportunity to volunteer in ways I never dreamed of. And most of all, I'm happy to continue raising critical mission dollars, and I look forward to seeing all of you at this year's Light the Night. In closing, I'd like to share what LLS means to me. First, LLS is a community. While I didn't choose to be part of this community, I'm grateful I found such an amazing organization that has connected me to other cancer survivors, patients, and most importantly, resources. Next, LLS gives hope to the hopeless. I personally continue to raise money so that nobody ever has to hear the words, "You have cancer," again. And last, one of the taglines of LLS is we bring light to the darkness of cancer. This is so true and something that I've lived by during my entire journey. When I was diagnosed with cancer, there was this behemoth mountain that was placed in front of me, and I had two choices. I could either sit at the bottom of this mountain and cry, or I could choose to learn how to climb this mountain and beat stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So from July 10th, 2019 until now, I continue to be a bright light, not only for myself, but for others. And I continue to shine my light with the help of LLS. So if I can beat a stage 4 blood cancer, raise money from my hospital bed while undergoing chemo treatments, and raise money during a pandemic, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And above all, just remember to never give up. Now, John, I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you, Jason. Every time I hear that story, it sends shivers up my spine. So it's just, we're so happy to have you here today, and I'm sure all your friends and family can say that as well. So again, thank you, Jason, for sharing your success with us. I'm sure your journey has inspired all of you, as I mentioned. Now let's get interactive. Let's have a little bit of fun in this Zoom world that we called 2021. Please use the chat feature to chat your team goal. So this is the action-oriented part of the presentation. So again, please use the chat feature to just give us a heads up as to what you think your team goal can be, should be, that you want it to be. I'd appreciate it. And I guess that means probably me too. All right, we got Team Raj, 25K. Team Viv, I saw 15K. Thank you, my good friend Jed. Team Jason, 20K. Thank you. Cole, another person I've gotten to know via Zoom, $20,000. That's awesome. Team Jansen, I like that. I'm not sure what PCYC stands for, but the objective to beat last year. That's hopefully it's close to like $1 million or 950, but we'll see. Let's see, Microsoft, team goal 10K. Thank you. Because I'm sure that 10K can turn into much more, but I'm a competitive person. So again, I'm inspired, by all of you. I truly am. My personal involvement with leukemia started probably more than 40 years ago when I lost one of my nephews to leukemia, and it stuck with me over the years. And then I've had different family and friends that some have won the battle, but many of them lost the battle. And so this is near and dear to my heart. So thank you for thinking big, and good luck to all of the teams. Accenture, I just saw pop in. Thank you, 20,000. And really setting the bar high and staying focused and truly trying to knock it out of the park, which is as a baseball fan, one of my favorite analogies. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have brought in just the right person, and I'll tell you who that person is in a second, to give you the tips we need. So please welcome from our local LLS Red River region, and one of my good friends, Shabranda Blackburn, who is the Light the Night director. Shabranda, take it away.
Thank you, John, and good morning, everyone. On behalf of the entire staff here in Dallas and Collin County, thank you for helping us light the night. I'm here to talk to you about how to be a successful fundraiser for the patients and caregivers that LLS serves. First and foremost, the most important thing is to register. Number one, if you haven't already, register your team now. Number two, register your teammates. Get everyone you can, your family members, friends, coworkers, and classmates. It's free and easy, so get your teammates over to our website to register today. We've provided a QR code to our local event that you should see on your screen now. Scan the QR code shown on your screen from your phone, and you'll be directed to our local website to register. We have also provided the Dallas and Collin County Light the Night URL in the chat feature. Please register now if you have not already done so. Don't worry, we don't mind if you multitask for a couple of moments. The next important step is to set up your online fundraising page. Research shows that people who customize their personal page raise on average 3 times more than people who just leave the page as a template. What does personalizing your page mean? It means uploading photos of you and your team and the people you are walking in honor of. And it means writing a short but impactful message about why you light the night. The more personal, the better. While your friends are donating to LLS, they're really donating to you. So make sure the you is in their front and center. This page is where you set your personal fundraising goal and where all your donors can make a quick, easy, and secure donation to help you meet and exceed your goal. The average across the country is $400. So set your goal high. And as you can probably imagine, we love it when you have fundraising success, and we make it pretty easy to increase your goal once you meet it. Then be sure to link your fundraising page to a Facebook fundraising. It is important when setting up your Facebook fundraiser to do this through your fundraising page as shown on the slide. Did you know setting up a Facebook fundraiser will give you an opportunity to raise up to 5 times more? Please utilize this successful and easy to use feature to raise more money for patients and their caregivers. One of the best ways to kickstart your fundraising and lead by example is giving a personal, meaningful gift. It shows that you are committed to your campaign, and it will motivate potential donors to at least match what you've contributed. Also, don't forget to use email and your social media platform to help spread the word and raise more money. Walkers who send multiple emails to potential donors raise 10 to 15 times more funds than those who don't use email. Our system also makes it easy to tap into multiple social outlets. It's a great way to let people know why you light the night. And you can also send thank you shout outs to your donors on platforms like Facebook and tag them to make sure they get the message. To keep you on track to reach your fundraising goals, we have new tools for you. For all our team captains in the audience, we have a 10-week team captain guide for you to help with your personal fundraising, but to also help keep your team on track. And for all of our Light the Night participants, we have a 6-week participant guide for you, which will also help you achieve and exceed your fundraising goals. You can find these tools at www.lightthenight.org, or we're also happy to send them your way. Fundraising for Light the Night brings a lot of great benefits. The biggest one is helping LLS fund more research and care to bring us closer to the end of cancer. But everybody likes prizes and to be treated like a VIP. So we've come up with some great incentives for you to meet and exceed your fundraising goal. If you are one of our returning teams or participants, I'm sure you remember our coveted team tents. This is a place to gather as a team at the Light the Night site to celebrate your fundraising efforts. I bet you are wondering, how do I secure a team tent? The answer is simple. Your team will receive an invitation once you've raised at least $10,000. So keep your foot on the gas and know we will be recognizing you and your team for achieving fundraising milestones. We also have a gift to reward those who raise $100 and become a Champion for Cures participant. Anyone raising $100 will receive the limited edition Light the Night graphic t-shirt. I'm sure everyone wants to make sure they're seen in this t-shirt. And those who raise $1,000 or more and become a Bright Light receive a special Bright Light long sleeve tech shirt. Bright Lights are some of our most coveted fundraisers. Last year, our Bright Lights here in Dallas and Collin County raised more than $104,000. Incredible. Speaking of Bright Lights and individual fundraising, we've got one of our brightest here today. She has been a rock star fundraiser for Light the Night, and she is going to tell you a bit about how she does so well with fundraising. Please welcome our 2021 Dallas Executive Challenge Chair, Julie Bushman.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Shabranda and the entire team. None of this can happen with the support of all of you, the LLS staff. I really want to do a shout out to Jason and to Chelsea. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm not a fundraiser. I don't call myself a fundraiser, but I am passionate about the cause. And I had an opportunity to actually raise funds for LLS through their Man and Women of the Year campaign a few years ago. Didn't know what the heck I was doing. That said, I have a similar story. I am a survivor. I'm also a current patient again. So it's like poltergeist, it's back during a pandemic. But it's all fine because I have faith in what the LLS is doing, the organization, and support to find a cure, at least to temporarily restrain cancer, as they say. But you know, I didn't get involved in this because of my cancer. I got involved because I was losing friends to cancer. I had 3 friends that were diagnosed with the terminal cancer 3 years ago. I lost 2 of them in 9 months. That is why I participated in Light the Night, and I participated in Man and Women of the Year campaign. I can't expect anybody on this call has not been impacted by the loss of somebody. So I became a less private person. I made it an oath to one of my friends who I lost prior to my fundraising campaign. She was supposed to be a part of it. And I did it in her honor, and I did it in another friend's spouse's honor. And it became a passion. It was a situation where I had to be vulnerable. I had to share my story. It's a story that I, quite frankly, didn't talk about 12 years ago. It's a story that I didn't really want to share. It was behind me and didn't want to rethink all of that. It was a really hard time. But that said, I started to share it. And I will tell you, I never had a social media account prior to this. I utilized every aspect I could, and the more I did, the more vulnerable I became, and the more I shared my story. You will be surprised who will come out of the woodwork. You will have some disappointments because people that you do think will support you, as Shabranda said, they're supporting LLS, but they're supporting you through this. The more you share, the more they want to support you because they know somebody else is fighting the fight. LLS is supporting and fundraising for a cure for all cancers. We focus on lung cancer, but as they say, it starts in the blood. So I would say, don't be too shy about this. Share why you're doing it. Don't be relentless. Cancer is relentless. We have to be relentless. And just put yourself out there. I had started out at the time, I don't know, Leah could tell you, I think I started out with a $50,000 goal. And we raised $167,000 in 10 weeks. I was astonished. But everyone became involved. And again, the more personal I got, the more people responded. So thank you for letting me share that. And I think we have a moment that we can ask all of you what your personal fundraising goals are. Mine will not be 167,000, I wish. But I plan on getting at it. So I think we're going to have an opportunity. Drum roll. Anybody out there want to share what their goals are? Everyone's thinking about this. I know we've got a lot of team goals. And I will speak that I had a small and mighty team when I did this a few years ago. I did it a little bit uniquely, but the more people that you get involved that are doing it on your behalf, the further you can go. There's Jed. Go for it. We're doing this. We want to talk a little about, some of you, I know a lot of you on this call are being a part of the executive challengers here today. And I know our goal, we are trying to raise at least $10,000. It is an 8-week competition, but the beautiful thing is you can start today. You could have started yesterday. I think that get your intensity going. This is an incredibly important time, and the consistency that you really dive into this, be relentless every week, do something different. But we are going officially between September 13th and November 4th. You know, make this a community battle. Let's do this together. This isn't about really who raises the most. It's about collectively what we can do to impact together and wipe out cancer. So let's get after that. You know, when we talk about who do you ask, I asked everybody. I started out small. So I said, this is kind of a, you got to get into the groove and just start thinking broadly. I started talking about my fundraising campaigns with everybody. More importantly, I shared with them what I was trying to accomplish, and I was trying to save lives. And that's the bottom line. That's what we're doing. We're here to save lives. I could not save my 3 friends. I lost all 3 of them. I have since lost 2 more to cancer. And we can't stop that without your help. So ask everyone. I share a story that when I did go to the gym, which I haven't done now in almost a year and a half due to COVID, there was a gentleman I would see once a month, and knew his first name, didn't know much about him at all, knew he was an attorney, started chatting, and I shared with him, I said, you know, I'm trying to raise funds. And it was literally at that moment, he said, I can help you. He made a $5,000 contribution from his small law firm. Didn't even know his last name before I asked him. You will be surprised who will step into your corner if you simply ask. Everybody, every dollar, everything counts, everything matters. So please reach out. This is not about just family and friends. You're all in new environments. I know we're working remotely, many of us, but we're really good at Zoom. Kids are going back to school. Somebody you know is being impacted by cancer. If you just start talking about it, I think you'll find that out and they want to help. Do you want to remind everybody that many of our companies do offer matching? Many of the folks that you're reaching out to work for a corporation that will match. They can make a $25 contribution that can turn into $50 very quickly. So please remind everybody, and not only yourselves, to check that out. Those dollars are available within our companies. Why would we not use them for an organization that we're passionate about? So please make sure that you remember to let folks know about that. You know, we want to make sure that we are here to help. I will tell you the staff at LLS is phenomenal. They will help with anything you need. I'm not the most computer literate person on the world, but anything you need, they are there to help. We are all here to help to make sure that this is a successful evening. I will share with you that the Light the Night experience, for those of you who are new to this, it is emotional, it's impactful, it is a family-oriented evening. And to see those lanterns lit up, if you knew nobody that was impacted by this, the emotions are still going to flow. So thank you for support of all of this. And let's get after this. Is there anybody, I guess, you know, let's see if there's anybody that needs any help, their involvement. How would you like to be involved? Let's go ahead and take the poll. I love this. Volunteering and creating a team. Let's do it. And you can join any existing teams. And remember, a team does not mean you need 20 people. A team can be 2. The more the merrier, though. Awesome. Many opportunities to help. Thank you so much for that. And as we had talked about earlier, we need to get registered. So the page is very important. Tell your story. You have a reason why you're helping with this. You really do. Be vulnerable. Talk about it with everybody. Partner up with people who can help you. And if you get stuck, just raise your hand because we're here to unstick that. So thank you so much for your participation. I know that we're going to raise that $1 million in Dallas County. So let's do this. We've got it. And I'm going to turn it back to Kirk. And thank you so much for letting me share some time with you today.
Leukemia Lymphoma Society is an amazing organization. They support so much research, and Light the Night means a celebration of survivorship, a celebration of everyone coming together with a common goal and supporting each other through such a tough thing as dealing with cancer.
This is my second family. You know, I'm a survivor. An organization like this and a night like this, I feel like I'm at a family reunion. People are here for the same cause. For some, they've lost people to this disease, so it may be somber. For others, they beat the disease, so it's victorious. But I feel like I'm just with a bunch of people that are here for the same reason, to really bring awareness to this disease.
One of the things that's so fantastic about the Light the Night program is that it brings together patients, caregivers, survivors, and other people who support those that have been affected by these really difficult diseases.
The purpose of participating is to really feel the energy of the community. Without the support of people like the people who are here tonight, they just can't do all the amazing work and research that they're able to do. They bring groundbreaking treatments to all forms of leukemia and lymphoma and advancements that are necessary to help cure and treat.
As a cancer survivor, I feel that Light the Night is very important. This event truly gives survivors hope. When I was pregnant with my daughter Charlotte, I was diagnosed with lymphoma and I went through chemotherapy during the pregnancy. When I came here and looked around and saw all the survivors and white lanterns and all the support, it gave me hope and strength to keep going.
As a survivor, to participate in an event like this is really extraordinary. It's very humbling. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, and I just get choked up when I think about people coming together for a common cause. It's a beautiful thing.
Those videos are always hard to follow, but obviously I think pretty compelling. Also want to just thank quickly Jason, Julie, and Chelsea for sharing your stories. I can't tell you how the personal stories really put meaning to everything we're trying to do here. So certainly appreciate that. John, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you for increasing my budget. It's never, it's always fun, but we will take the challenge. We're excited. We're going to get to the $1 million. I know we will, and it's for a great cause. So the extra effort is worth it. Look, I'm incredibly excited to lift my lantern with you all on November 6th in Dallas, in Collin County on November 7th. You know, I know it feels like it's still a ways out, but it actually isn't. And so I'd encourage you all to continue to do the work now, to start the fundraising, spread the word about LLS, the Light the Night. You know, cancer's not going away. Our patients need us. The researchers need the support to find cures to cancer. I know we're all going to not only reach, but exceed our goals. And, you know, thank you again for joining us today. I know you're, as I said, I know you're all busy, but hopefully this was meaningful and helpful. I can't wait to be with you all in person in just a few short months and continue to you know, fight the fight together. So we will stay on for a few minutes for those of you that have questions or comments. But again, thanks for joining. Thanks for your participation and thanks for everything you do. It's great to see everybody.